must bring to our task today the vision and will of those who came before.
The American dream endures.
This is, in some measure, an act of faith and vision.
It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. I have a dream.
Hello, and welcome to the show. We still don't have a human host, so I'll do the best I can. First, a public service announcement. As you may know, this show was made with a computer program called Virtual U. Use the download links showing on the screen to get your own copy of Virtual U. Now it's time to take a look at the world of the present. Let's see if anything interesting is currently going on. You've seen these people before. They are members of ISIS, which is also called Daesh. The struggle to retake Iraq and other areas back from their control is still currently being waged. Using religion as a cloak and an excuse, these ISIS grouping-like thugs are nothing more or less than modern-day Nazis who thrive on experiencing and sharing unwanted pain. Just like Nazis, it's as if pain gives them more self-awareness of their own identities. After all, you might not be sure who is the real you when you're doing some idle armchair philosophizing, but you sure know who you are if you accidentally hit your thumb with a hammer, right? Let's hope that there's no escape for this person, al-Baghdadi. And now for something a little more pleasant. We have a correction to make. In the slightly misleading clip you're watching from our last show, you were supposed to be watching an empty sabot casing spinning around and then disappearing into a dark hole, but the object you see is actually an unfired casing that contains a bullet. The object should have looked something like what you see now. As you may know, this show was made with a movie-making computer program called Virtual U, and you can download it and some other stuff from the safe, dependable download sites showing on the screen. Please excuse this plug, but Virtual U has been improved and is much better than it was, as well as being much faster. Well, what's going on in the world of the present? For one thing, World of the Future is sponsoring some interesting inventions, and here are some of them. The first is called Robot Spider, and he's a robot dual-powered arachnid and is fully designed mechanically, electrically, and pneumatically, though he does not yet have a computer brain. The second invention is a model hybrid airplane rocket kit. This airplane can fly with one or two propellers, and it can also soar to the heavens as a rocket. This airplane is based on the infamous World War II fighter-bomber airplane known as the Arrow, or the Dornier 335, and could possibly inspire a commercial passenger airplane called the New Arrow. These products aren't on the market yet, but who knows what the future will bring. We have a few other things like this, and we'll show them to you on future shows. Considering the present-day world, some interesting patterns emerge. In humanity and nature, observation shows us that everything, other than human behavior, seems to be very well balanced and arranged. Not to make a case for or against the concept of intelligent design, informed folks know that we and our universe could not exist unless many different conditions are or were true, and that if any one of them are even slightly not a certain way, then we would not exist. The odds involved with those conditions, scientifically and astronomically speaking, are astronomical. If the moon and earth were not certain sizes and made of certain elements in a certain arrangement, in certain orbits, at certain speeds, at certain distances from each other, at a certain distance from a certain kind of sun, neighboring certain other planets, doing certain things in a universe that exists and was created in a certain way, then nothing would certainly exist. Nature has similar flags that get the discerning person's poignant attention, such as the fact that some of the especially dangerous creatures here on Earth are distinctly marked in some visual way. Nature also contains harmful substances as well as beneficial things like coffee and tea, and the fact that they're available seems suggestive. But suggestive of what? Coincidence? Don't forget those odds. Another question. If for the sake of argument we assume that all these things were done for humans, then why weren't humans in the first place created so that they wouldn't need those things or be harmed by other things? It's quite a mystery. And now, let's go to the world of the past to relive a strange event that happened more than 30 years ago. We're going to tell you a true story about an event that happened to our own resident oracle and seer. I, the narrator, will now speak in his words. One day many years ago, I had a vision that I saw in my mind's eye. I usually see these rare visions through my eyes, but the even rarer ones seen only in the mind are the greatest of all. In the vision I saw a pearl-colored ball in the center of a cloud, like a marble wrapped in a wad of cotton. A day or so later I had to drive out of town on a road trip. Leaving the bright lights of the city, I drove my car through the winding streets and tunnels until I left the night skyline behind me. After traveling a while, I turned off of the highway to pull into a rest stop. After I came out of the restroom there, I paused for a moment to look at the sky, and this is what I saw. The picture you're seeing isn't perfect, but the moon, represented as the pearl ball in the earlier vision, was almost perfectly centered in a very round hole in a very round bank of clouds. You can see that the vision was slightly different from the event, which illustrates the phrase, through a glass darkly. When you think of the vision and the vertical and horizontal line of sight angles involved with the centering of the moon, it seems as if something more than coincidence is involved. But what? Maybe you know what it means. You be the psychic. You be the oracle. You decide. Our oracle doesn't know what it means, but he says that on a future show he will tell you about another odd incident which he calls the story of the three dogs.